Namaste, everyone. This is Akayani Chamberlain from the Living Connection and also Yoga on the Dance Floor. I wanted to make this quick video for you today because I've been getting a lot of positive feedback about the intentional meditation that we held as a group as part of the Global Frackdown. It was an outdoor event, wonderfully organized by Kim Fraschek and company. We had a lot of great artwork. So I've been getting a lot of phone calls and I've been getting a lot of emails and just sort of a lot of people just stopping and wanting to know when the next one is, etc. We had 50 people the first time, wonderful, and we also had a great follow-up event at Jivamukti with a smaller but just as powerful group of people. The one thing that I want to emphasize to you, whoever's watching this, is that I'm nothing special. The way I learned how to do this intentional meditation was really through an encounter that I had met someone and was talking about water as an issue, and they simply gave me this affirmation, or this mantra, this prayer, this fill in the blank. And that was it. So I just ran with it. I took it and I started using it, and I started realizing that it can be done in the open with a group of people, or it can be done privately at home. You can be at a distance, you can be nearby, your focused object of intention. It really doesn't make any difference, because the technology that we're using here is a technology of the heart. We all have one. So the heart doesn't know anything about time or distance or space. It's a way to collapse time, as it were. It's something immediate. You can think of a good memory and instantly you're there. So I want to dispel any misconceptions that you may have that you need to actually be physically in the place or in proximity to the person that you are in the process of creating a positive outcome with. No, you don't have to be close to them in that way. The other thing that's really important is to be quiet, settle your mind, settle your heart, and it may take you a few minutes to do this because we all have things on our mind. Anything from, I need to pick up a loaf of bread on my way home, etc. Fill in the blank. When am I going to get that laundry done? This is all kind of chatter that happens. So the first few minutes, don't get frustrated. Just allow yourself to settle in. And an easy way to do that is found again in your own body, and that is through the breath. You don't have to do anything fancy. Just breathe normally, but just be aware and focus on that. And sometimes a helpful thing to do that I do that is helpful to me is that I will put my hand over my heart, or I'll put my hand over my heart and also on my belly, because the belly is the center of energy. It's a center of what they call in India prana. It is actually the second brain, but of course its talent is that it understands through feeling, through perception. It really gets the whole picture encapsulated. A lot of words aren't needed. So this is a great way that you can calm your mind down through your breath, through that feeling in your stomach, perhaps placing your hand on your heart, perhaps placing another hand on your belly, and just breathing for a few minutes and being quiet and letting that chatter go down. This is a nice way to prepare yourself for your intentional meditation. Then the next step is to get into that space where you're wishing the person no harm. Now, for some people this is controversial because they feel that well, this person is wishing me harm, or my community, or my entity, or my body of water, or etc. So the lower self wants to retaliate. The lower self, or the sort of day-to-day earthbound self, wants to defend, right? So unfortunately, what happens with that reaction is that it triggers and it pushes the buttons in the other person or entity as well, who has the same exact feeling. Because this is a commonality that we have as animals, is that we have as human animals or four-legged animals or what have you not, is to go into that mode. So what we're trying to do here, or what we are doing here, is we're transcending that through the medium of the heart. Because what's given by the heart is received by the heart. Now, it may take some people longer to thaw out, depending on how in touch they are with their emotions and their consciousness or and conscience, than others. But be that as it may, everyone has something along those lines, as hard as it may be to believe sometimes, when you just can't believe the things that people are doing. Which brings me to my next point. Lust, fear, anger, envy, greed. These are all too real human emotions that we identify with in a false ego kind of a way. Guilty is charged, and also the people, the entities that we're trying to get through, clearly have these in spades, or acting out on this in a much larger and much more kind of dramatic scale. So it's important to understand that, because this provides commonality, and this gives you a platform of insight. The other thing is that we're trying to take out the adversarial approach, because when you become adversarial, your sort of subtle hooks, as it were, you get hooked into that energy, and so does the other person. So on a subtle plane, it becomes like the Hatfields and the McCoys. You know, I'm right, I'm right, I'm right, I'm right. You know, of course, you know, everyone thinks they're right. Everyone thinks, you know, their cause is the best. And what happens is that you come to an absolute impasse. There is no understanding. There is no melting away. There's no conversation. And there's no progress. There's no evolution. And even worse is that there's a de-evolution. Things can escalate to a place of violence. We don't want that. So the other thing that you want to send the person, entity, is self-knowledge. That's key. And also cultivate that in yourself while inviting the universe to do its magic. Open hearts, open minds, open doors, seemingly closed. One of the things that I like to cite, you know, from a particular tradition is Daniel in the lion's den. Daniel and his companions were locked in prison, and they were going to be thrown to the lions. Miraculously, the lions were put to sleep or became docile. The guards were put to sleep. They were able to get the keys, and they were able to walk out. So this is the way the universe works, in unexpected and surprising ways. Things that may be so obvious and also a little bit mysterious, by using peace to work its magic. Things that we may be so blind to because we are so caught up in fear and anxiety, and get into an idea of control and that we are the controllers. We are co-creators, but we're not really the controllers. We can control our emotions and we can control our intentions. But whenever we try and control another person or another thing, we get usually exactly the opposite result of what we are desiring, if not in the short term, where it may blow up in our face, immediately in the long term. Anyone who has a rebellious teenager probably knows what I'm talking about, or if you can remember back to your times when you were younger, someone trying to force you to do something because they thought it was right for you. If you didn't have the realization of that, or if it wasn't offered in love and friendship, you wouldn't even consider it and run as quickly as you possibly could in the other direction. Okay, so now I'm going to repeat again this bond meditation, intentional meditation that was shared with me by a dear friend. Please get out a piece of paper, a pencil, an index card, write it down, and know that you can either print this on small cards to give out to people if you happen to be in a group setting so they have it before them, because it can be a little bit hard to remember if you haven't memorized this. Or you can also put it on a big sign if you're going to be in a situation where people can see a big sign. That's what I would suggest. Okay, here we go. So it goes like this. Wish no harm, self-knowledge is the energy. Sit quietly thinking of the individual/entity, and you want to project these thoughts towards them with love from the heart, a marriage of thinking and feeling and how this will feel like. And you want to speak this out loud either 3 times or 9 times, and then you want to clap 3 times at the end to seal in the invocation. May all blessings flow to you. May self-knowledge flow to you. I reclaim the power you have taken from me. It is mine to take back, and it is my right. May love and good fortune come to you now. As I speak now, you are no longer a problem for me. Your difficult energy dissolves into wisdom. You regard me with respect. May all blessings flow to you. May knowledge flow to you. I reclaim the power you have taken from me. It is mine to take back, and it is my right. May love and good fortune come to you now. As I speak now, you are no longer a problem for me. Your difficult energy dissolves into wisdom. You regard me with respect. May all blessings flow to you. May self-knowledge flow to you. I reclaim the power you have taken from me. It is mine to take back, and it is my right. May love and good fortune come to you now. As I speak now, you are no longer a problem for me. Your difficult energy dissolves into wisdom, and you regard me with respect. And that's how we seal in the invocation. Very simple to do. So I hope that you found this helpful. Be brave. It's nothing difficult. You can see that it's very, very easy, very simple. You can do it alone. Pray or affirm in secret, be rewarded in the open. If you do this on a consistent basis, I think you'll be very pleasantly surprised as to the miraculous outcomes that occur through the heart. Namaste.